Well, coming off 95-degree weather into this nice, comfortable 75, Paul, it sounds like maybe you should have been here last week. But You're here today, and we're happy to have you. Paul Kocharhook joins us, the owner of Pathway Design and Construction. Paul is an American Lung Association Master Home Environmentalist Volunteer, and Pathway Design and Construction focuses on environmentally friendly buildings. So, Paul, how are you, man?
I'm great. It's nice and cool today.
Did your home stay cool during all this? I imagine it did.
It did. I have a heat pump, so it stays nice and comfortable.
All the time?
All the time. 73 degrees.
Yeah? Nice. It's a little warm. So, Paul, let's, you work with a lot of people, and I guess you're solving problems for them when it comes to their living and the environment in their home. How do people make their home more comfortable during the summers, and what could people do?
Yeah, so there's a couple different, there's many different
besides
options.
The heat pump?
Yeah.
Or I guess heat pump's one of them.
Heat pump system's always a great system. If some furnaces, some newer furnaces allow you to attach a heat pump to them. Basically, a heat pump's it's like an air conditioning unit, except for it pulls the cold air out of the hot air. Doesn't make sense, right? But during the summer, it's actually pulling the cold air out of the hot air. It's pulling coldness out of what we have outside and cooling the interior of a home. Where during the winter, it's doing the opposite. It's pulling warm air out of our freezing temperatures and putting it into the home.
You're right. That doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense at all.
So really, and we've talked a little about heat pumps. That seems to be kind of what we're going to in the future. It sounds archaic. I mean, heat pump, right? It just sounds old, and it makes me think of like a swamp cooler down in Arizona,
Yeah.
But that's really kind of what the future is going to bring, don't you think?
It is, because it's energy efficient, and that's where everything's going, right? More energy efficiency in our homes. And there's a few different types of heat pumps. There's ducted heat pumps, which attach to your furnace, which blows air in your home through ducts in the floor or ceiling. And then there's also ductless heat pumps, which people who have been to Hawaii probably have seen in their condos. They're just little units that mount on the walls, and they heat and cool the units there.
Huh. So then why do homes get so hot in the summer and cold in the winter? I mean, is it, you think, oh, well, my house, it's insulated?
Yeah. Well, maybe it's insulated, maybe it's not insulated.
Oh, there you go.
Right. So, sometimes you'll be in the winter, you'll be sitting next to your window and you feel like a nice cool breeze on the back of your neck. And what you're feeling is convection, air convection. So it's cold air, moving into warm air, and it's pushing. So what happens with, convection is, and it's really hard to demonstrate on the radio, right? So I'm using my hands as I'm doing this, right?
You're doing a very good hand, yeah.
But essentially the hot air, if you think of your attic, where's the hottest place in your house right now? It's your attic, right? So that hot air that's in your attic is actually being sucked down back into your house. So if you have a 2-story house, that's why your second-story floor might be warmer than it is, say, in your basement or even in the middle level of your house. So warm air is attracted to cold air. And if cooler is in the home, it's going to pull itself into the cold air. It's trying to warm it.
So what do you do? I mean, how do you keep because when it comes down to a house being hot, no matter where the hot air or cold air is, it just feels warm. And I mean, are there strategies beyond air conditioning and a heat pump to cool your house down?
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of things you can do, say on the exterior of your home. So a lot of this is used in what we call passive solar building, and trying to take into account how do we use the natural sun to either add heat or try to reduce heat in the home. And we can do those through, say, an awning on the exterior of your house. We're going to get a lot of heat gain both during the winter and the summer through windows of our home. And the idea is during the summer, during the summer, the sun's going to be on a higher plane. And during the winter, it's going to be on a lower plane. So we're going to get more direct sun, more on a parallel level. So what an awning will do is it will, during the summer, it'll keep the sun rays from coming into the home. And during the winter, it won't be blocking the sun as much. So you'll get a lot more thermal heat gain And so what happens is when our houses heat
You
up.
wouldn't think awnings keep your house warmer. That's interesting.
Yeah. Well, it's not. I mean, it's not necessarily keeping your house warmer, but it's allowing the sun to keep your house warmer. So the sun's getting in, and it's heating the thermal masses in the home, right? It's heating your carpet, it's heating your furniture, which is then in turn radiating.
Heat that furniture.
It's free. Take advantage of it.
I like it. What are some other ways to make your home more comfortable during the summers?
So, thinking about landscape plantings. Where are we planting larger trees on the home or around the home? Think about
creating shade, really.
Yeah, exactly. During the summer, you think about a deciduous tree. It's going to be leafy, right? So it's going to provide shade. During the winter, the leaves are going to fall off. It's going to allow the sun to come into the home.
So on the west side of your house, it's a good place.
Yeah, exactly. West, south, southwest.
Southwest, deciduous trees.
That's right.
Makes sense. What else? I mean, you'd actually talk about a green roof. What does that mean?
Yeah, so green roof. So growing plants on your roof.
Not everybody. It green?
Well, you probably see a lot of green roofs. Maybe David and Wes deal with a lot of green roofs that are natural green roofs with moss and all kinds of stuff growing out of them, right? So
Wes is over there. Yeah.
Unintended green roofs, but actually a green roof, right? So especially here in Seattle. But the idea is to not everybody can have a green roof. You have to have the right slope on your house, on the roof of your house where you're actually growing it. But it's not. What it's doing is it's protecting the roof, so you're not getting a lot of heat gain in through your roof, essentially.
And having the plants on it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's an insulating.
And the soil,
it's acting
as an
absorbs
insulating
the
water, so you don't have as much water hitting your roof. I mean, it.
Yeah, and it actually will also clean. By you having the right plants up there, it'll also clean the runoff that you get. So cleaner water is actually going into the drainage system.
Oh, the gutters. Yeah. You don't have to get the leaf guards.
That's right.
Because you got plants up there.
Yeah.
It makes sense. What about, it's fans and air conditioning. I mean, I guess there's just the good old fashioned ones that don't involve planting a garden on your roof.
Right. Yeah. Fans will work, to use in the winter, drawing air up, putting air down. We've had really good success, but in conjunction with doing insulation packages on homes with, attic fans as well. And what these are is they're just a fan that you mount in the roof. So normally we have venting in our roofs, right? We have a ridge vent, or some of our homes have what we call roof jacks, which are we're required to have in order to allow the house to breathe and get that hot air out of the attic space. But it doesn't necessarily always, because of convection, as I was explaining earlier, that gets sucked back down into the house, it doesn't always pull itself out. And by having an attic fan that's helping draw that air out, it's actually pulling the hot air out, and it's creating a more comfortable space. So we've had really good success using these in certain homes. So again, with an air seal and an insulation package, because you need both insulation and air sealing, both in the winter and the summer months. Well,
I guess everything kind of comes, it's not just one simple thing, right?
Right.
I mean, you can't have a green roof without plants and soil and pots, I guess. I mean, you pot the plants, don't you?
Yeah, they come in trays.
They come in trade plants.
Tray, yeah.
I like it. Well, Paul, thanks for joining us. We do have to go to break. Stick around for a few minutes. Paul is going to stick around here with Wes and David Bell when we come back. You're listening to Brassionomics.